Namaste, hello, and welcome back to another video on Papyrus and Parchment. My name is Bonnie, and today's video is going to be about my Mega March 2026 TBR because I have decided to participate in 3 different readathons. Now, as we all know, March is a readathon carnival time here on booktube, and if you're not sure about it, or if you would like to know more about the sort of readathons which are happening this March on booktube, I'll leave a link to a video which has been compiled by Paige from Pages with Paige, and she has put together all the readathons which are running in the month of March. So we have weekly, we have 24-hour readathon, 48-hour readathon, and month-long readathons, which are absolutely fabulous. But I have chosen 3 readathons which are my favorite readathons, and I'll be participating in them, of course. So I'll leave a link to Paige's video in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above, for all of you to cross-check. And if you would like to know what my Mega TBR looks like, do please join me further in this video. Middle Grade March, one of my favorite readathons of the year, and I was desperately waiting for the announcement video. So Middle Grade March is a month-long readathon wherein we read only middle grade books, and this readathon is hosted by Krista, Amanda, and Katie. I'll leave a link to the announcement video in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above. Now, there are 5 prompts which have been introduced this year, and there is also flexibility that we can double up or triple up on our prompts. So I'll be going book-wise, and the number of prompts it ticks off. So my first book on my TBR is Ophie's Ghosts by Justina, Ireland. I hope you can see it because it's quite bright out here. So it ticks off 3 prompts. First, it's got a name in the title. Second, it's a historical fiction. And third, it's by a BIPOC author, and it's a debut novel, of course. So the story follows Ophie, or Ophelia, who lives in Georgia. And in 1922, her father is taken away. Their property is seized and by the government, and their land is taken away as well. And Ophie is left with her mother to make their own living, and so they join Daffodil Manor as housemates in Pittsburgh. And there Ophie discovers that she has the ability to see spirits, and she starts befriending some friendly spirits. Of course, not all spirits are friendly over there, but then there are secrets and mysteries which start coming out, wherein there are things in Daffodil Manor which are very confusing, and there is one spirit in particular whom Ophie befriends, who actually guides her, and Ophie decides to help the spirit back. So this is what the story is all about, and I think I'm going to have real fun reading it. Now, my next book on my TBR is Flunked by Jen Calonita, and this is for the prompt books on the cover. So this is the first part in a 6 book series, and this forms a fairy tale reform school, and this follows a girl who is the eldest amongst 6 siblings, and she lives in a boot house. They live in poverty, and she tries to get creative while she tries and earns bread. But then once she got too creative, and she ended up stealing food for her younger siblings. And once a child starts stealing or commits a crime in this particular land, they are immediately put into the fairy tale reform school, which is run by the villains and the villainesses of all the fairy tales. So we have Snow White's evil stepmother queen, and we have Cinderella's evil stepmother, and we have all the villains like the Grey Wolf from Red Riding Hood, etc., who are actually professors. And here there is a reform wherein the evil and the criminal minds are transformed into doing good to the society, and that's what this entire series is all about. So this is just the first of the series. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through the entire series this month, but definitely this is on my TBR. Now, the next book is the group book, which is Max in the House of Spies by Adam Gidwitz, and this is of course about this Jewish boy who is put on a kinderboat to travel from Germany to Britain during the World War II era, and he makes friends with some magical creatures, and he reaches Britain, but then he wants to go back to Berlin to his family, and there he finds that he has to try and convince the British that he be used as a spy for them. And this is what the story is all about. So this also is a historical fiction, and it's got a name in the title. So of course the first prompt and the third or the fourth prompt is also ticked off in this. And the last prompt of this readathon is to read a book which features sibling relationships. So I will be reading The Curse of the Eelgrass Bog by Mary Averling, and I absolutely love this cover. I read this book about 2 or 3 years ago as soon as it was released, and I absolutely love the story. So this is a story of 2 siblings, and the relationship between the younger sister, who is our protagonist, and the elder brother, and how they are waiting for their historian parents to return from their expedition, and they stay near a place called the Eelgrass Bog, which harbors prehistoric materials for study, and of course nobody is permitted over there because the bog seems to have its own secret. But then they have this entire museum which their family owns, and her younger brother manages this, and she is a part-time caretaker of this particular historical museum. And every time she wakes up in the morning, she only remembers that she has to take care of the museum and take care of her parents' valuable work. But then what she also notices is that the museum she's taking care of is almost going to crash. I mean, it's absolutely in ruins, and she somehow has to make sure that she can get some students or some visitors who can come and visit the museum and pay for the tickets, etc., so that they can earn some money. And then there is the secret of the Eelgrass Bog, which is very mysterious. The girl herself is mysterious, and this is what the story is all about. So these are the few books that I will be reading. There is a possibility that I might just include a couple of more books, because Krista has recommended such wonderful books that I might just pick up a couple of them from there. But as of now, these are the few books that I'll be reading for Middle Grade March. So do let me know what you think about them. And in case if you've read any of them before, or if you would like to buddy read them with me at any point of time, do just let me know. So those are the books that I'll be reading for Middle Grade March. The Irish Readathon 2026. Now, this is a readathon which is hosted by Aoife, Leanne, and Nicole. There are 3 hosts this year. Usually there are 2, but this year there are 3. And this is also one of my favorite readathons. And I could not participate in this particular readathon last year, but this year I made it a point to pull up my socks and no matter what, participate in this particular readathon. Now, I do have all the information about the readathon and the prompts in front of me, so I'll be referring to it from here. So our first, and I'll be going prompt wise. So our first, the announcement videos for Irish Readathon will be in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above. So I'll be posting Leanne's announcement video, because I believe she's the creator of this particular readathon, and Aoife's readathon announcement video and Nicole's announcement video will be in the description box below. Also, I'll be going prompt wise as we approach the as we go through the readathon details. So this is a month-long readathon. So our first prompt is to read a book with green on the cover. So for this, I will be reading Irish poems, which has been edited by Matthew McGuire, and it's absolutely pretty. It's very pretty, in fact. And what I loved is this part of the book, and I hope you can see it. It's a very tiny book, but it's got lovely Irish poems, and of course, I'll be going through this this month, and it's got green on the cover, natural green, which is what I preferred. So that's my first pick. And the second prompt is to read a book by an Irish author who has a new book out in 2026. So for this, I will be listening to Grace by A.M. Shine, and this came out in February 2026, and it's a atmospheric gothic horror which has its roots in Irish mythology. And this is about a woman who was born on an isolated Irish island, and she goes out of the island, of course, later on, and her mother is still on the island. When her mother passes away, this girl who is now a woman of 30, has to come back again. And here she finds that there are very strange things which are happening on the island. And she discovers that the psychology of the people, as well as the sort of atmosphere which is created amongst the inhabitants of the island, is absolutely and phenomenally horrific, because there is something which is lurking and something which everybody is scared of, and that's what she has to find out, and she needs to unearth what exactly is the issue. So that's what the basic storyline is all about. Now, our third prompt is to read an Irish book starting with one of the letters in Ireland. So for this, of course, I do have Irish poems. So it does have IRI as well. So, and it does have the word Irish in it as well. But if it is Ireland, then of course I'll be going for Andrea Mara's It Should Have Been You. And it's got I. It starts with I, so Ireland I. So this is a thriller, and it's about this silly, innocent prank which goes wrong and ends up being a murder mystery. So there is this woman who has a sister, and she tries to send her sister a gossipy, juicy news in laughter about a particular neighbor. And instead of going to her sister, she accidentally posts it on the neighborhood WhatsApp group, and there is chaos and commotion, and there is a confusion which our protagonist tries to clear out. But then there is a murder which takes place, and it so happens that the victim who is murdered has the exact same address of our protagonist. However, it's on the other side of the town, so everybody starts questioning whether the victim who has passed away was the actual victim, or the victim was supposed to be our protagonist. And this is what this mystery is all about. So our next prompt is to read an Irish book with a great first line. So I'll be reading Nesting by Roison O'Donnell, which was suggested by Aoife, and its first line is really inspiring. Now, I've just written it over here, so of course I'll be reading out the first line of this book, which is, "At first I was land. I lay on thy back to be fields, and when I turned on my side I was a hill. Under freezing stars I did not see, I was seen. Night and day words fell on me, seeds, raindrops, chips of frost First one of them, I learnt my name. I rose up and I remembered Mother Ireland. And this is by Evan Boland. So this is the first opening line of this entire book, and I absolutely loved it. So I'll be reading this particular book. So nesting is about a woman who is the mother of I think two girls, and she makes a split-second decision, and she leaves her home, and she tries to make a separate living and tries to bring up her daughters in a time when housing as well as making a living was very difficult in Dublin. I believe this story is set in Dublin, and do correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, I think the story is set in Dublin, and she has to face a lot, along with the fact that she has a husband who's trying to get her back home, but she doesn't want to get back home. So she has her reasons, and it's a story about womanhood, and I think there's also elements of mental abuse about in this particular story. So that will be for prompt number 4. Now prompt number 5 is to read an Irish book about family. So for this, I will be going with Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. And of course, this is all about family. It's a small book, of course. It's all about family. And I think it's set in 1985 in an Irish town. And it's set during Christmas. I don't know much about this, but I'm not going to read from the back of the book. But then, yes, it's all about family. And the last prompt is to read an Irish book on audio. So I do have Grace by A.M. Shine, but I also have The Burial Tide by Neil Sharpson. And this was suggested by a very good booktuber, and I absolutely love her videos. I think she's from Irish descent, and she did recommend this book on Instagram, and I love the story. And it's about this woman who comes back to life after she is buried in a coffin, and it is centered around Irish folklore, and it has got gothic horror in it. So I'll be listening to 2 gothic horrors this during this Irish readathon. So I'm really looking forward to it. Galaxyathon 2026 running this year from 9th of March to 22nd of March has been created and hosted by Macy from The Bright Side Girl. I'll leave a link to her announcement video and all other respective videos in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above. Now, Macy has tried to structure this particular readathon by dividing us into teams. In fact, it's not exactly dividing us, but we can go for both the teams, or we can just read for one team, and show our loyalties towards one team. So there is Team Earthlings, and there is also Aliens. So we can try and do, or we can try and attempt prompts from both the Earthlings as well as Aliens, mix and match them, go for one single Earthling or alien prompt reading challenge, etc. So the basic objective is to have fun. So I'll be going with the alien reading challenges, and there are 4 challenges, and we can double up, triple up, or just read one book. That's absolutely fine. So I did come across one book which fulfills all the 4 challenges, reading challenges for the alien. So that's called Hunt the Stars by Jessie, Mihalik. So this is not set on Earth. It is not exactly set on another planet, but it is sort of in transition to go to another planet. And also it's got a spaceship on the cover, it's got stars in the title, and it's also got alien romance. So all the 4 prompts ticked off with one book. So definitely this is on my TBR. Now the synopsis is a bit complex, so I won't go into the details of it, but then it's about this person from Earth who is a bounty hunter who goes and tries to make a contract with an alien race, and it so happens that there's a romance which starts brewing, and it is later that our Earth bounty hunter realizes that the commander of the alien race was actually using her to try and invade Earth, and it is up to our bounty hunter to save the alien, save Earth from the alien invasion. So that's what this book is roughly about. And another book which I'll be reading, which of course it's not exactly related to the prompts, but definitely does have lots of stories. It's actually an anthology called Infinite Stars Dark Frontier, which has been edited by Brian Thomas Schmidt, and it's got lots of stories by wonderful authors, and it's a chunky book, so of course I'm going to take my time with it. So this would most probably fulfill the prompts for Earthlings as well as for aliens. So I'm really looking forward to this. And there's another book which I'm throwing in, which is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I don't need to talk about this. I just need to read it and watch the movie as well, because I have not actually read this thoroughly. So I am taking this opportunity to approach this book. Also, this is one of the book club picks for one of the book clubs that I've joined this year, which is World of Bookcraft. And that's something which I'm throwing in this TBR. There are also two other books which are possibilities. So because they're possibilities, I don't want to really mention it. If I can complete it, good. If I cannot, then definitely I don't want to feel bad that yes, I mentioned it in this video. So those are roughly the books that I'll be reading for Galaxyathon 2026, which I'm really excited about. Rocky's Rainbow Readathon 2026. Now this is a annual readathon which is hosted by Chris and another host whom I will mention over here. And what I have decided is to go for one book per prompt. And this month I did read one book in the month of January. I could not read a book in February, but I think I'll be reading one in March now. So this is a new release. It's just got released in 2026, and it's by Petra and it is for the prompt trans main character. So I'm not too sure whether you'll be able to see this book, but I absolutely love the cover of this book. And this is a sprayed edges. I love the cover design. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm not too sure if there's anything inside. Of course, inside, this is what it looks like. This is a, I think it's dark academia as well. So it's got gilded edges, and it's by Petra Lord. So I'm just going to read out the synopsis of this book because it's very interesting. So Annabelle is trapped in a boy's body, and in a year it will kill her. In the nation of Kaimor, the wealthy buy and trade bodies like clothes. But Anna can only afford a grey damaged male form, and by her 17th birthday, it's already falling apart. As her extraordinary magical abilities grow, but her body continues to fail her, she is left with only one choice: become an assassin for Paragon Academy, Kaimor's prestigious school of magic. But rebellion brews in Kaimor, and at its hem is Kyove, the most infamous dark mage in history. As Anna steals, fights, and kills for Paragon and forms a tentative alliance, and maybe more, with the elusive Wes, she discovers secrets that transform her concept of hero and villain, while striving above all to become her truest self. And that might just be the most powerful thing of all. Full of heart-pounding action, inventive magic, cinematic plot, twists, and emotional gut punches, Queen of Faces is an unforgettable fantasy adventure from a phenomenal new voice. And about the author, Petra Lord is a biracial trans author, and there's a lot which has been written about her. And yes, it's an own voices book as well. I absolutely love the cover design. It's beautiful, and of course the artwork in sprayed edges is gorgeous. So yes, I'll be reading this book this month, and hopefully I should be able to complete it, because this does not look like it's a tome. No, it is not a tome. It's less than 500. So yes, let's see where we get from here. I'll definitely be updating everything, and I'll be reviewing this book as well on Goodreads. And of course, I have joined Storygraph, and after finishing this, I'll be submitting my form as expected. So that is my March pick for Rocky Rainbow Readathon 2026. So those are the few books that I'll be reading for my March readathons, and I say few, but yes, it's a massive TBR, and I'm going to be struggling, and I'll just have to really get through, but I can't miss out these readathons. I did miss out a couple of them last year, so yes, I don't want to miss out the fun in it this year, and especially reading along with all booktubers. So do let me know what you think about it, and if you would like to buddy read any of these books with me, just drop a comment and I'll get back to you, and we'll decide how to go about it. So that's all I have for you today. I'll be back with another video very soon. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.